Welcome to my latest experiment. This is the big one, the one I've been waiting for all my life.
What is it?
Try to imagine all life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light.
Oh my God.
The cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
And I am the voice of the voiceless.
And there is no one that does it better.
The Guy and Harley podcast, streaming all over your face.
Perhaps that was the most important part.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Pigville on the internet. Baby was a virgin, that's what she said. So I gave her some Hennessy, she gave me some head. I fucked her on the floor so I wouldn't mess up my bed. Then little half dead put his dick on her head. Welcome along to the Guy and Harley podcast. I'm Guy Pigden.
And I'm Harley Neville, and that was Dr. Dre describing the time that he raped a virgin with his friend.
It was
Little Dead.
Half dead.
Half dead.
It was Snoop Dogg, actually.
Oh, was that Snoop, was it?
Yeah.
It's from Dr. Dre's album.
Yes.
Got it, yeah.
But, yeah, not a great...
2001, A Space Odyssey.
Not a great...
2001, A Rape Odyssey.
Not a great day for that girl to have to have sex on the floor because he's like, look, my bed is, I've got it a certain way and I don't want you messing it up, so you have to lie on this hardwood floor. That's not great. That's not very nice. Secondly, little half dead comes along and just puts his dick on her head.
Who is Little Half Dead? It's one of his gang, one of his clique.
I think it's just like one of his homies in the clique.
Yeah.
And then, she's just had sex. She's just relaxing. And then some random guy comes and puts his penis on her head.
Highly inappropriate, Snoop.
Come on, Snoop.
Highly inappropriate.
I wonder if he's, well, I'm sure he is. I was going to say in this age, because obviously this came out in 1999, it was a different time back then.
You could get away with saying anything because the internet wasn't really there to hold you accountable.
If you wanted to look up these lyrics, you couldn't.
Yeah,
you just had to listen to the song a bunch of times and say, did he say that someone called Little Half Dead put his penis on someone's head? Is that what he said? I got to listen to that a couple more times.
Yeah. Or just buy the CD so it comes with a booklet with the lyrics in it.
Well, so a lot of them didn't include the lyrics. Some of them do, some of them don't. Also, they're real small. Those lyrics are always really small and hard to read because they were trying to fit it all on one tiny CD cover. And you're kind of like, oh, I can't be bothered reading through this. So anyway.
So yeah, welcome to the show.
Welcome to episode 90. When we turned 90 today.
We did.
Skin smooth as satin. Until
Youth Ahead of Me until the return of Saturn. Guy is channeling one of my poems. That's an incredibly inside joke. So good.
Well, you've definitely read it at least twice here on the podcast.
I have read that's my poem called Saturn's Return, which I may or may not release a video for one day.
Satan's Return, an
animated video for it. Was the plan?
Yeah, which may be read at my funeral, followed by Tupac's Heaven for a G.
Now, speaking of
my funeral,
your funeral. No, speaking of reading that poem in places, I am emceeing a wedding later on this month, and the bride has requested that I perform a poem, and that's really the only one I've got that is appropriate.
Yeah,
Saturn's Return. It's about the stages of life and getting old.
All the other ones offend someone to some degree.
Yeah. Yeah. Although this one might still offend the old people in the audience because it's all about getting old and then dying.
Yeah.
Well,
it might bring a few tears.
It might. Tears in the relationships I have with them, tearing us apart, something like that. Anyway,
dad jokes are still strong. The force is strong with our dad jokes, or more specifically Harley's.
Yeah, all right. So what's on the show today, Guy?
Well, we've got a lot to talk about, really. We've got to decompress because we've just finished a lot of pickups. We've finished a lot of older pickups. The last time we spoke to you, A lot of people had died, and I had to stay up until 2:45 a.m. to put all the clips of the dead people into the show.
So we hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah, because that really took a lot of work, an alarming amount of work, to sort of trawl through and do all
So the
that.
Hardy Hundy, for that 100 downloads that we got, it was actually a lot of work that week.
Yeah. And it was just before we were about to do pickups. We're about to do pickups the following night, I believe. And we shot those pickups, and it was pretty epic.
It was. On the one hand, there was bits that went incredibly smoothly.
Yeah.
On the other hand, there were some bits that went disastrously.
That's true too. And I guess we should talk a little bit about it, right?
Well, I think we should talk about it in detail.
Okay. So, this is the podcast.
This is a filmmaking podcast.
It's a podcast about our lives. And, we did talk a little bit about the movie gods in the last episode. Where, these pickups seem to be coming together. The movie gods are smiling on us, And I tell you what, anytime you even mention the movie gods, you're risking the movie gods becoming angry.
Oh, you're attracting their baleful eye.
Yeah. It's like the eye of Sauron in the Lord of the Rings. So, sooner you put the ring on, in
They
this
can
case,
see you.
mentioning them, they can see you, and then they're targeting right at you, and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
think it's going smoothly, eh? Well, let's just see about that. So, essentially, we did have one disaster, which is up there with our disasters. Lots of crazy stuff has happened to us on film sets, lots of crazy things. This is right up there in terms of, quite shocking, quite wow, that's bad. That's a blow. And it happened to us, which was one of our main actors did not arrive to film. They did not arrive because they did not get on the plane to come up to Auckland to film.
After we bought the ticket
For $475.
for this person to come up, as well as orchestrating a few other bits and pieces, which also cost more money.
Yeah. And this person was booted off the plane and
Not allowed on the plane in the first place.
could not get on another plane, and subsequently didn't show up, and we only discovered this.
Now, why were they not allowed on the plane? I guess we're just going to leave that to speculation with the crowd, with the Hardy Hundy. They're not allowed. They weren't allowed on the plane. They arrived at the airport, and then they were banned from getting on the plane.
Well, I believe they may have actually been escorted off the plane,
Right.
which is worse.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
Escorted off the plane. They really must have been making a bit of a scene.
Yeah.
Because, you get in, you settle in, you put on your
Fall
seatbelt,
asleep.
you fall asleep and shut up.
Yeah.
So for whatever reason, we'll let the Hardy Hundy speculate on exactly why, but this person was removed from the plane and not allowed on the next plane, and then we guys on set waiting for this person to arrive.
So I in fact went round to pick them up. So this is cut to, they've been taken to the airport by our makeup artist.
So we organised a ride to the airport for them as well. So we left nothing to chance.
I received a text from them saying, hey, is it cool if we push the call time till 7 p.m. instead of 6 p.m. Because I've got a family thing I'd like to attend. I said, sure, no problem. I roll around there at 7 p.m. No one there. No one waiting for me.
You got to the airport.
I got,
and you didn't.
Not the airport. I got to the place they were meant to be staying.
Right.
Which was far away.
Right. But no word. You got no word from anybody saying that anything was awry.
Well,
you just
no. I did, checking retrospectively, I did receive an email at around 4:30 p.m., which I hadn't checked because I'd been out doing pre-production stuff.
Because I was filming that day.
I don't normally check. I'm very, I'm not really on my anything while I'm filming because there's just no time. So I hadn't checked that. I do have my phone with me, of course, if people do need to get a hold of me. I had not received a call. I had not received a text. I went around there, and then they weren't there. I called them up and they were like, oh, well, funny story, actually. So I'm not there. And I was like, oh, well, I guess you're at a different flat and you forgot to tell me. And they were like, no, I'm in Christchurch. I'm not in Auckland. I couldn't get on. I'm not going to be there, basically. Which was very alarming to get when you're about to start filming with them. You know, like, this is not like a couple of days out we're talking about. We're talking about the moment we're meant to get in the car and drive to our location to film with them. And this person was incredibly pivotal in the pickups that we were doing. Like, half the reason for the pickups was to include them and enrich in their character. And this is not a small part either. This is one of the leads. You know, this is a lead person. So for them to...
It was me. Look, I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry it was me.
But it was very alarming. It was very shocking. And it really threw me for a mental loop, because then we had to scramble, because we were scheduled to film with them that day. We were scheduled to film with them the next day. And to do this huge funeral scene that they were going to be an integral part of. And that obviously was not going to happen.
So suddenly now, the smaller scenes that we were going to shoot, obviously you can't shoot those.
Yep.
And then the big funeral scene, which involved this person a lot, suddenly has to be rewritten.
Completely.
A couple of days out, while you're trying to shoot other things, and it has to be just rewritten by you at some point.
Yeah. And just kind of dream up a satisfactory
explanation for why this character wouldn't
pivotal
be
person is not there
in this scene.
And it was like I was reeling. I was really shocked. Like, you know, that's the thing. And you know, on big budget films, that is what you have insurance for. You then go to your insurers and you go, hey, this lead actor, say, look, it's Robert Downey Jr. He's gone on a cocaine-fueled binge, and we can't find him. And we can't shoot today because he's not here. We can't find him. And they go, oh, shit, well, here's $1 million to cover that expense. You know, here's that money for those plane flights, and here's everything else because we're insuring this film. That's how it works, basically. We did not have that.
No. No.
We definitely did not have that. So I went from sort of mentally like, okay.
Also, our actor doesn't have the box office draw of Robert Downey Jr. So we're not making it up on that end of the production either. So
this actor is not Iron Man.
No.
Doesn't have the same cachet as Iron Man.
No.
But so then suddenly I went from, in my head, okay, we're filming, to holy shit, I've got to rewrite everything right now because tomorrow this will be what we will shoot, basically. So I need to completely rethink this and think of a good way to do it. And, you know, we had a situation on the zombie film where our entire lighting crew disappeared and left, packed sad and went home. And that was bad.
They were like, boo-hoo, we're not supposed to work more than 10 hours 45 for this crappy money.
Well,
stop taking advantage of us. We're leaving.
Well, it was more, but again, they tried to start a crew mutiny.
A crew mutiny.
Where they went to each individual head of department and try and say, hey, let's go on strike and try and get more money from the production. Which was the huge misconception being that there was more money
to be had. It's like, man, we would give you the fucking money if we had it.
And that's the thing, is like, there's no, and it's kind of rare in the, I mean, I guess it happens, but no one on a $250,000 film was trying to lowball anyone to save this money for them, you know? Like, so I go home and
just roll around on the bed, roll around in the bed with your $100 bills.
Because there's simply...
for 2 hours before you have to be back on set again.
There's no money to conceal, you know? There's no way that you can set aside money because all that money has to be spent, because even when it's all completely spent, it's not enough. So, you know, that was their sort of thinking then, and that was a big shock. But the thing is, we did replace them with a different lighting crew, and with much less resources, and we had to kind of recalibrate the entire sort of third act in the way that we planned to film it, which made it much more difficult for everyone. But that's just what had to be done, and that was shocking to me. But I think I was more shocked about this.
Speaking of I Survived a Zombie Holocaust, my 10-year-old sister is up.
Yep.
Staying with me, and she has been here for a week, and she's watched it twice already. Loves it. She's 10, not 16, which is how old you're meant to be to watch it.
What was her favourite part? The big old zombie penis? Flopping about in her face there, is that...
No, she looks away for certain bits still. And I warned her to look away for that bit. I gave her
that monstrosity.
I gave her the heads up. Yeah. But she's already seen it, she's probably seen it 6 or 7 times now.
Right.
Loves it.
Yeah.
I can't remember what her favourite bit is. She did tell me.
Well, it's a really cool thing. If I was a 10-year-old and my big brother was the star of a movie, and not just any movie, not just a kind of romantic drama or something like that.
Some crappy romantic
which is
drama.
It is kind of dry balls for a kid of 10. I would hate to see that at 10. I'd be like, why couldn't you be in a cool movie? But this is a cool movie for a 10-year-old to see and go, that is my big brother. He is the main dude. He's the main event. He's that guy, and he's in the whole thing. And that's him, and he's my brother. I hang out with him all the time. That's really cool. I'd love that if I was
I think I would too.
I'd get a huge kick out of that. So I think that's pretty cool that she's that she's enjoying it.
Well, she is a big fan. Now
there's an even bigger fan.
There is a bigger fan, but we better finish the older story first before we get into the zombie Holocaust story.
Yeah. So anyway, we had this huge sort of drama right at the beginning of filming, and we had to totally scramble to rewrite, which we managed to do, and sort of film the scene that we're doing, this funeral scene, and I think we managed to pull it off. It was very tricky, it was really difficult, but I think that, yourself and Angie did a great job of organising it. Shiney, my girlfriend, did a great job of catering it, and I did a great job of directing it. No, I'm not really serious about the last part.
And the extras did a great job of showing up too, because we got a good crowd. We only printed 40 release forms. We ran out.
Yeah.
And had to go and print another 30, and I don't know how many of those we used, but because I haven't counted up yet. But we definitely had between 50 and 70 extras show up that day, and they were all immaculately presented, very professional.
Yep.
They genuinely seemed like they wanted to be there, and at the end of the day, when we asked for volunteers to hang around for another scene in a different location, we actually had almost too many extras
to fit in the frame.
To fit in the frame, which was obviously a good thing.
Good problems.
And so that was a real treat. That was quite unusual to have
us.
Such enthusiasm. And it makes me wonder if the release of I Survived a Zombie Holocaust has really upped our stock amongst sort of budding and aspiring actors and filmmakers and stuff like that, so they're way more likely to want to help out, because we had heaps of people apply to be the B camera operator. We had anything we needed, there was people to do it. I actually had a few too many people. I had people that were like, I just want to be involved in any way, shape or form, and I was like, well, look, I can't find you a real job on set, but I can, you can come along and be an extra, and that would really help us. And so there's a few people that did that as well.
Yeah, so thank you so much to the extras and to the people that helped out, because basically whatever we needed, we said, hey, we need somewhere for our director of photography to stay. Someone put their hand up, said, I think I've got a place,
Emmy.
I can hook you up.
One of the Hardy Hundy.
Which was amazing.
Yeah, so thank you, Emmy.
We say, hey, we need a certain location or prop. Someone puts their hand up, say, hey, I think I've got that thing that you need.
There was a few of the Hardy Hundy there as well. It's worth noting.
It's good. Well, thank you very much for coming.
Paulette Edser, she was there. Blair Martin.
Yep.
Scott. Not Scott. Scott, you know who you are, Scott. Scott was there.
You know who you are. You know your last name, Scott. You remember your surname, don't you, Scott? Scott
from Te Awamutu. Scott was there, and a few others as well. So that was kind of pretty friggin' awesome.
Yeah. And it was a very tricky shoot still, because essentially we didn't have quite enough time to do everything we needed to do in the scene, just because we had to quickly go to another location because of another actor's availability. So it meant that we kind of did have to sort of rush through everything. We were kind of under the gun, under the pump all the way through.
Scott Turnbull.
But I think that, you know, all things considered, you know, we pulled it off. It looks great. And, you know, I think it's a big win.
Yeah.
Big win for Older, big win for the team. And very happy to have shot that pickup because, you know, I was thinking about this the other day, but like whenever we kind of like set on the idea that we need to do pickups, I can't relax. And it's like a little niggling, like someone poking me in my ribs all the time, knowing that this thing has to be done to make the film as good as it can be, knowing that this is what the film needs, and just needling away at me. And I was feeling like that for 3 years on the zombie film.
Yeah.
3 whole years because I was fighting to do these pickups, which we did eventually do. But that needling feeling of dissatisfaction, of a sense of incompleteness in the work.
You know, I mean, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but there's still a lot of work to do. Like, we've still got various pickups to do.
That's true. We've still got one more.
Possibly some reshoots. Potentially some reshoots of things we've already shot.
Yeah, you might be right there.
So just, you know,
so that feeling,
don't relax too much.
That feeling hasn't gone, but that feeling is far from gone. But it is good that it has diminished. It has diminished. That feeling's diminished, and it's also like it's a relief when you're gearing up to do something like of an epic magnitude. It's stressful, you know. It's a stressful thing. Whereas sometimes, you know, some of the pickups, it's like, okay, we grab we need a cameraman, we need a sounder, and we need a couple of people, and we need a bar or something. That's nothing.
Well, not for you. You're not the one who's organising the soundy in the bar.
That's nothing at all. We'd do that in our sleep. Do that in our sleep.
Yeah.
Barely even break a sweat on that one. But when you have to, you know, when it's like, no, this is a huge scene involving all these different moving parts, you know, the wheels are going to turn very slowly. And obviously, because it's low budget, because we have no time and no money, you know, it's going to be really tricky. You know, it's like building up to this huge, you know, climbing this huge mountain and then sort of like, you know, then you get there and you go, did we get to the top? Did we do it? And then sort of on the way down, got that just filmmaking jet lag where you're so exhausted from all the hours and hours that you spent on it. And, you know, all this mental time, you know, like we did this huge pickup. I went to work the next day, slept for 2 hours, got up and did a whole bunch more pickups, you know, and that takes its toll on you. Those kind of silly hours do take their toll on you, not necessarily at the time, but after it, you do pay.
So, if people would like to check out Older the Movie, here's how you do it. Go facebook.com/oldermovie. You can also go on YouTube, search Pigville Older, and you'll find the trailer as well. So go and check that out, and please hit like on the Facebook page, facebook.com/oldermovie, and we'll keep you posted about when you can watch it and how you can attend the premiere, the world premiere, hopefully within the next 12 months.
Yes. I think there's no reason that can't happen. Well, there are as many reasons why it might not happen. But there's no reason that can't happen.
Yeah. Now, I Survived a Zombie Holocaust is winning hearts all around the world. We have had people requesting DVDs from all over the globe, which I post to them. We sign them, I post them. We've sold a few locally in this last couple of weeks. It's been going great. If people want to buy their own personalised signed copy, they can. All they have to do is go facebook.com/ISAZH, and there's a button there to buy one direct from us, the filmmakers. Now, we may have our first superfan, though.
Oh, really?
Our first superfan. Now, somebody has tattooed the I Survived a Zombie Holocaust poster on the back of their calf.
That's a pretty big deal.
That's a big deal.
Are we going to
That's some
post
true
that?
dedication. Yeah, I'll post it on the
Okay.
Facebook page, facebook.com/Guy and Harley. I'll also post it on the Zombie Holocaust Facebook page as well. But
That's deep.
that is deep. Now, that is my mum. And I'm not even kidding.
You think that's a joke?
You think that's a joke?
That's
dear
not a
listener?
joke.
That's not a joke.
That is his mum that did that.
This is the blood that pumps through my veins. My mum officially has the "I Survived a Zombie Holocaust" poster tattooed on her calf, quite big, and it's me with the egg beater.
Yep.
If you've ever seen the Zombie Holocaust poster, I'll post it on the Facebook page. And it's sort of an animated poster of me. Now, there's a few of us on there, but, I'm sort of the central character with my egg beater. And Mum has now got it tattooed on the back of her leg. Looks all right. Looks all right so far. What were your thoughts?
I did have a little. I was a little analytical of that of the tattoo.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was like, "This is amazing. This is so cool."
Yeah.
And tagged my mum.
Yeah. You go, Mum, you've got to raise the bar.
I was like, "Come on, Mum. If you're not doing this, really, I might as well disown you right now." Because this is obviously the dedication that the parents have to provide to be true fans.
Lifelong scarring of your body.
It's a little bit different though, because obviously at its heart, that poster is a poster of you.
Yeah. So it would be weird if your mum had
Got
me
a poster
tattooed
of
on
you.
her. Does your mum have any tattoos?
No,
No, she doesn't.
She's not
really
a tattoo
type.
person. No. So. Anyway, I did check it out. I will say your head looked a little big.
Yeah, you think it's a little bit big?
A little bit oversized for your body. It's hard with the calf, or the shape of the calf.
Yeah.
I will also say, seems like you got less hair than in the poster.
Yeah, well, that's what
and I was
happened.
like, what's going on here?
Well, see, my mum, right, so she got the tattoo. It's me, but she's made me balder.
Yeah, I know. And I was like,
it's
why would you do that?
Clearly in her mind, I'm bolder than I am, or at least than I was in I Survived a Zombie Holocaust, which, she's not entirely wrong about.
Yeah.
I am bolder than I was in Zombie Holocaust. But in the poster,
Yeah.
it is me. But I think there is a bit of a problem with the hair in the poster, which the tattoo is based off. And I think what it might be is maybe the hair's a little bit too dark or something like that. And it's kind of just a strange shape of receding hairline. I feel like
I didn't have any issue with that.
I always thought it was the thing that didn't look quite right to me.
No, it's
but I was okay with it. I was like, well, it's an animation, it's kind of as close as you're going to get kind of thing.
I was like, they gave him some hair. It's good.
Well, yeah.
He had hair.
I did have hair.
You gave him hair.
So I guess Mum must have agreed that the hair shape wasn't right. It doesn't, it does change slightly my appearance when you see it in the poster. It's just not quite exactly 100% right.
Yeah.
And so my mum, in her wisdom, decided to just remove it. Just remove my hair and just have me a full Shiney with just the hair on the side, with just the hair.
Which is inaccurate of the film.
Right. And I think in her mind, she probably imagined me, because she sees me in real life, right, as this how bald I am now.
Yeah.
And at the time, I'd grown my hair out and kind of combed it over.
Yeah.
And so she probably doesn't really remember that as being how it was. So I took a screen grab and I posted it on her picture and I said, look, I've got a tuft of hair. Give me back my tuft.
Yeah, you did. Okay. Yeah.
So I am really hoping that in her next session, she will get that tuft put back on, because I definitely had a lot more hair than the tattoo. I've gone full Shiny.
It's you never go full Shiny.
And it does affect the coolness of the image, I think, as well. It makes the character, it makes me look older. It makes the way older.
Yeah.
But I am still very stoked with the general idea, and very proud of my mum that she would get an I Survived a Zombie Holocaust tattoo on the back of her leg. She always said she was going to do it, and I believed her. But, it's one of those things. She actually did it.
Yeah.
So, my mum's pretty dedicated.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you for that.
Love you, Mum. Now, 2017 kind of sucks.
Yeah. Kind
of sucks so far for the Nevs.
The Nevs ain't been having a great time of it.
So I think where it all went wrong was when I posted a bragging status
braggadocious
on Facebook all about how everybody else had a shit 2016 except for me. I had a great 2016 and I killed off a bunch of pop stars. Crappy pop stars.
Also, it almost seemed to be in response to my complaint of 2016 on the podcast that, 2016 was not a good year for me. And this almost seemed like a goading response that, sorry about your damn luck, buddy.
Well, not everything's about you, Alex. Not everything's about you. When I posted it, I wasn't thinking of you and your miserable life. I was just thinking about, in general, how awesome my 2016 was. Now, 2017, we're halfway through January.
It's early days.
It's fucking early days. And let me tell you what we've got so far, okay? Firstly, knife-wielding maniac attacked my mum, and my sister had to abruptly come and live with me. She came at quite an inopportune time because my girlfriend of 5 years leaves to move one-way ticket to LA in 3 days from now. So my sister leaves in 2 days, and my girlfriend leaves in 3 days. So that's one night of frantic fucking, because for the last week at least,
abstinence.
I've had a 10-year-old girl asleep on my floor in my room, which is not conducive to a healthy sex life. Particularly in your last week before she goes, where she's hoping to come back in 6 months. That's the plan.
Particularly if it's your sister.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Exactly. Any 10-year-old is inappropriate, guy. Any 10-year-old sleeping on the floor. But yeah, I guess probably more so if it's your sister. And so yeah, I mean,
so no sex for the Nebs in 2017 so far.
And one of my colleagues said to me, "Oh, you'll just have to get really good at having quiet sex." And it was like, no, I'm going to have to get good at wanking even more quietly. That's what it's really is going to happen, So that's the situation. Now, I do really love having my sister here. I really do, but it would be nice if we had our own room.
Sure.
And then on top of that, we had the pickups for Older, which was obviously quite a big stress, quite a lot to organise.
Yep.
Particularly the funeral scene. There's just a lot to do. Yep. Keeps you really busy, and then to have one of our lead actors kind of drop out as well, obviously undermines the whole thing and makes it feel. I feel like we pulled it off, but it's a shame because it's
been compromised.
Less worth it. Yeah, exactly, it's compromised.
Yep.
So that sucks. And then on top of that, we didn't report this yet, but here we are recording this very podcast, episode 90, from the brand new Pigville Productions head office.
Yep.
I have moved into Guy's flat, all official. Now that's a good thing, but I had only just moved. I moved 6 weeks ago from my mansion into my dismal, decrepit shithole.
Yeah.
And then a few weeks after that, I get the word from Guy that a room has come up in here. So I have to move again. And moving the first time was horrible and expensive.
Yeah.
Now I'm moving again, and so that. That's bad enough, right? You're moving, you got the sister, got the girlfriend leaving, got the movies, the no sex, the quiet wanking, all of that stuff. It all adds up. I bet you reach a tipping point eventually.
Every man, it just takes one bad day.
And so here's where it gets really bad, though. So I hired a moving truck the first time I moved house because I don't have a car. I've got a motorbike, right? So don't have a car, got to hire a moving truck. We moved and it was fine. It was $135. This time I hired the same company, but the dudes that came along, it was the same truck, but two different dudes. And I was like, okay, well, whatever. Obviously they work for the company. And first things first, they said they were going to give us a half an hour warning before they arrived because they couldn't give us an exact time of arrival. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So I was out of the house running some errands, and suddenly I get a call from my flatmate. Hey, they're here right now, and that was like 2:30, and I was like, fuck. So I ran home, and by the time I got home, it was 2:43, and I was like, okay, well look, my hour starts now because they charge $135 for 1 hour.
Yep.
Anything over that, you get charged for another half an hour. And so I was like, okay, I rushed home, and I was like sweating, and still had some other bits and pieces to pack, and we started packing the truck. I said, my time starts now, right? 2:43. And they're like, yep, we got you, bro. And then, so we started packing the truck, and I still had a few bits and pieces to pack up. But I was like, well, look, I feel like I can trust these guys because I've used this company before and they did do a good job. So I'm going to leave these two guys, one of them who had like no teeth, but not like they'd been knocked out. It was like they'd just rotted away, you know, like they'd rotted down to stubs, all his front teeth. And he did have very bad halitosis. And
what's halitosis?
Bad breath.
Oh, right.
The medical term.
Okay, thank you. Continue.
And so anyway, they were loading stuff up, and I was busy packing away some other bits and pieces. And then they took us to the new house. They dropped off all the shit, and then they were like, "Okay, so that's an hour and a half, $180." And I was like, "Well, no, it's just that I've never by time." And it was 3:41, so I was 2 minutes under my hour. And I was like, "No, you might recall that I said earlier that it was my time started at 2:43, and it's 3:41." It's 58. And he was like, we're in the system. It's an hour and a half. We arrived at 2:30. And, now this ain't your grandma we're talking about. This is a hardened... I mean, his job is literally to pick up and put down heavy things all day.
So just think about how easy he could pick you up over his head and throw you.
It just put me down.
Well, just throw you into a bush because he's angry that you didn't pay him that extra $35 or whatever it was.
It was meant to be $45. So he was like, okay, well, look, we'll meet in the middle. We'll just charge you $160. That's $30 extra. And I was like, yes, sir. But in my head, I was like, no, you son of a bitch. I said 1 hour. That's it. This is the deal, man. You listen to me, mister.
You're not giving me a fair shake here.
And then I was like, okay, well, here's my FPOS card. And he was like, okay, well, the thing is, we forgot the FPOS. And, but the thing is, we did specify that we needed to pay by our FPOS, sir. And he was like, yeah, well, can you go over to the money machine? And so I had to get into the truck with these two stinky guys with the halitosis and go to the money machine, get out my cash and give it to him. But I was just happy to be done with it. I was like, okay, it's $160. It was $25 more than I would have paid. And it wasn't really my fault, but fuck it. I'm moving. I've got so much shit going on. I'm done. It's all good. Then I get inside. I start unloading all my shit and stuff is missing. Now, the thing is, it was a 2-minute drive. Like we're talking like honestly a 2-minute drive from my old house to this house. Yep. It was very, very short. Things amongst the first thing I noticed, my reasonably brand new motorcycle helmet gone $300. Now the thing about a motorcycle helmet is you can't really misplace it because every time you take it out of the house, you need it to ride back to the house. You're never going to ride home without a helmet, are you?
No.
So it was in the house, and I saw it the night before. I knew it was definitely there, and now it's gone. Inside the helmet was my two gloves. One of them fell out onto the ground in my bedroom when they were stealing it, I guess. Yep. So now
in their haste to steal it.
So they've stolen one glove, but these were like expensive leather gloves that I bought in America.
Yep.
So they're gone, right? And then I had a little backpack, this Herschel backpack. Now Herschel's quite a hipster brand. I didn't actually know that until a hipster told me. And it was
a fellow hipster,
quite a cool, trendy hipster brand, Herschel. And it was about $40 for that bag, and it's gone. And inside the bag was sort of miscellaneous crap that I'd thrown in there for the move. The only things I know about, I don't know exactly what was in there, but there was my sunscreen and my cheap sunglasses. Now, cheap sunglasses, don't care. The sunscreen, that was $25. I just bought that today. I bought a new one today. It was like a $25 sunscreen. And so you combine all of... Oh, and then on top of that, my little sister's shoes. Angie had some shoes that she was going to give to my little sister, and they'd washed the shoes. They were white Converse, and I know for a fact that they were there because what happened was while those guys were loading up the truck / stealing my shit, I was out the back getting shit off the clothesline, and amongst them was these shoes that had been washed, and I put them all in the washing basket immediately prior to them going into the truck.
Yep.
And now gone. White Converse, gone. They're all gone. So basically they stole white Converse, bag, helmet, one glove, sunscreen, sunglasses, and who knows what else. and it's just gone. So I'm like at least $500 out of pocket now. As a result of this company, and now they're called Bull 18. So if you ever look for them, if you're ever looking to get something moved in Auckland, Bull 18, like BULL and the number 18, they're called like Bull 18 Movers Auckland. I don't really know what Bull 18. I don't really. Is it meant to be like bulletin? Is it?
Yeah.
What's it meant to be?
I guess.
So it's Bull 18. It should be bullshit. Because they are terrible.
My follow-up question to that, is there going to be some grand repercussions here? AKA, 1-star review online.
That's done. I did that. I posted it. Now, here's my problem.
Take that!
I went to their Facebook page and I gave them a 1-star review and I explained all of this in a long and hilarious review.
But they deleted it?
No, it's still there, but they've only got 17 likes on their page, and they've got a 1.8 out of 5-star average rating, and all the other reviews are terrible.
Really?
So they obviously don't care about that social media presence anyway.
And also don't care about providing quality service.
No.
As they're like, we get the work
thing.
we get, we sometimes steal stuff, and there's no repercussions because it's very hard to prove
that we did it. And so Angie called them and blew them up online, blew them up on the phone, you know.
Yep.
And
she took those big old cojones of hers.
She did. Angie took her big balls, which I was lacking.
Which you had placed in her purse.
Yeah. And she called them up, and she gave them a piece of her mind. And they were like, yeah, we'll call you back. And they didn't call her back. So she called back the next day.
Yep.
And they're like, yep, I'm investigating. We'll find out about that helmet, miss. And we'll call you back tomorrow. And they didn't call back again.
Yep.
And so I shared my review twice on my Facebook page, expecting some sort of response from the legions of followers that I have.
Yeah.
Nobody is even reading it. They don't give a shit. I think it's because I don't open with a funny statement. So it's just like, I use these guys and blah, blah, blah. But the funny stuff's further down, you know? But I didn't open with a sentence that captures you, I guess.
Also,
that's my bad as an author.
I also think, though, that didn't pop up on my news feed.
Right.
As an avid Harley Neville follower, that should have popped up in my news feed, and it didn't. So why didn't it? Because you were sharing essentially a review of an ad of a place,
right?
And you know how Facebook don't like you doing that.
Maybe I'll share it again, but this time minus the review, so that I'll just do it as a post. As a status,
I bet that will get a lot more.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Mileage.
I'll do that. So, are any of the Hardy Hundy my Facebook friends? You all are probably, but did you guys see it? And let
us know.
Let us know. And if you're not my Facebook friend, feel free to add me. My name is Harley Neville.
Is there going to be further investigation here?
Well, I don't.
Are you going to escalate this?
I just don't understand what I can do beyond ranting about it online. I mean, I could, of course, I could go to my reporter friends.
Yeah.
You know, see if there's an angle.
Fair go.
There might be a story.
Yep.
You know, I did used to work for MediaWorks, which is Fair Go, which is our sort of channel, our show here in New Zealand that investigates shows like this, and they like to follow up on stories like this. But I don't even know if Fair Go is still going.
It is.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I should send it to them. So I could also message my sort of reporter friends and see if we could work out an angle. That might be potentially worth doing, and it's good for me publicity wise. But the bad thing is these guys know where I live.
I know. Yes,
these thugs know where I live. So let's just say that these two guys get fired as a result of this.
Guess where they're coming.
They're coming here. They're coming at the Pigville Productions head office.
Worse still, Pigville Productions head office, all the shit in the front room.
It's all guys.
It's all mine.
If it makes you feel any better, they know which room is mine.
Right.
So don't worry about that.
That's true. That's true. Let's hope they only... But I think they're really just going to knock the whole place off, you know?
Well, they'll just knock me out when I come home from work one night.
But yeah, I mean, I guess you could blog a thing with the police, right?
Yeah, I guess.
That's how these things work, isn't it?
There's just no evidence. You know, it's my word against... You know, they're going to go, well, so you've got zero evidence that the helmet wasn't stolen by your flatmates.
Can you imagine the rage of the police officer that is called to investigate this and take the notes that you provide to him?
Yeah.
Like, as soon as you begin explaining that story, he's like... Yeah.
He's like, so you left these guys unsupervised,
Yeah.
and some of your shit's missing while you're moving house, and they're just going to say, well, I'm sorry, Harley. The company is going to say, I'm sorry, Harley, but obviously you lost that shit while you were moving.
Mm.
You lost it somewhere. Moving house, that stuff happens all the time.
Yep.
That's what they'll say.
No, the only thing for it is scathing online reviews.
Which is what we've done. So go facebook.com/Guy and Harley, because I shared it there too. What else you got?
Well, I had my sort of debut for IPW, Impact Pro Wrestling, where I get kneed in the face and roll out onto the apron. So basically what happened is I was at training the other day, and they were like, oh, everyone get out, because we're doing promos, which is when they basically do some stuff to camera which promotes the next show, which is Coastal Assault. I think it's January 21st, but it's the Hibiscus Coast. So it's and the big thing is,
where's that?
Hibiscus Coast.
Yeah, what country's that in?
No, it's kind of like out past the shoreways, I think.
Right.
Like it's quite a long way away.
North Shore of Auckland,
I believe.
Get out there, kids. I won't be there, but get out there.
Please do not quote me on this, because I could be wrong. But anyway, they're like, yeah, everyone get out, and I was like, sweet, getting out, and then they're like, not you, we need you, and I was like, huh?
Like,
to hold
this is it.
To hold the camera, and they're like, no, we're gonna beat you up, and I was like, cool. So it was a big thrill for me.
It was. There was a big kick that was very clearly missed you.
Yeah, he was taking it pretty easy on me, to be honest. He could have laid those in pretty stiff, and because we were doing a couple of takes, he was just like being nice, basically.
Yeah,
because he could have been much like, there's when you work stiff, that is when you hit people quite hard to make it seem more real, because it is more real. And he didn't do that. He did that very softly. So, and to be honest, the first take we did was probably better. I sort of took the move better and had a better snap to it and everything. But the second time we did it, he also suplexed someone, and it was a very hardcore suplex where it looked like the guy landed on his head. I'm
actually surprised that they decided to use that one, because it does, like in terms of like sort of like rookie and semi-pro, wrestling, it could be potentially kind of bad publicity for them. It's like, oh, that didn't really look very safe.
Well, that's the thing though. If it just makes it look more real. Like, it's bad in the sense...
but not to anybody that knows anything about wrestling. Anybody that knows about wrestling goes, wow, he didn't really pull that off very well.
No, they don't. They go, wow, he really, he landed wow, he took a really hard move. That's scary, but that's real. So that's good. It's not good for the person who lands on the head, but it's good, in terms of, whoa, that was brutal. He's brutal. But it was pretty cool. So we should put the link in that on the thing as well.
Facebook.com/Guy and Harley.
If you want to see me getting kneed in the face. So that was really cool. That was a big thrill for me. I really enjoyed that. I hope to get beat up many more times and many more promos. That was really awesome. So that was great. I do have one other story, but have you got anything else?
Well, yeah, the other night I was walking back with Adam St. John, our DP, who has done an amazing job on Older and definitely deserves a shout-out. He runs a company called Saint Media Group. He's also known as the Newton Hipster. Now, if you guys... if there's any listeners from Australia that heard about the Newton Hipster, there was this big scandal because... Did you keep up with this guy?
I only read the beginning of it because he basically called out Tropfest.
So Tropfest used to be in Bondi or somewhere like that in Sydney, and then they decided to move it out to Manly or some other bumfuck place over there, and so reporters asked filmmakers what they would if they would bother attending Tropfest if it was way out in, wherever the fuck it is that they were attending, that they were holding it. And they called him. They Googled him. They just Googled like filmmakers Sydney. He came up. They called him, and they were like, and he was like, no, I wouldn't go all the way out there to attend it. And then the paper article, like they ran the story, and they found this picture of Adam with George Lucas, which is not an old picture of Adam with George Lucas, and
just off his Facebook.
And they dubbed him the Newtown hipster, who refuses to go outside of a certain amount of kilometers to attend film festivals. And I didn't realize, but we were talking about it. It's such a huge scandal that he was getting like calls from like other countries that wanted to talk to him, and there was all these like big stories following him. They were like, they wanted to get him on like live TV and all of this stuff. It was like a big deal. And I'm actually planning on cashing in on it because No Caller ID was shot by Adam. Adam's the Newtown hipster, which is still current. So and
the infamous Newtown hipster.
It's the next project of his that's come out is No Caller ID, and it won an award. Yep. So there's an angle there. Newtown hipster wins award, right? So I'm planning on stirring up some shit here. It's on my to-do list. I'm just waiting for the girlfriend to leave and all that, and then the girlfriend and the sister to leave, and then I've got all the time in the world
to troll
the world.
Yeah.
So that's, you keep an eye out for it, dear Hardy Hundy listeners. So anyway, Adam, the Newtown hipster, he is over here, and he did a great job shooting older. And one night we had a few beers, and then we were walking back, and I walked him to this kind of down this bike path to this bridge where he could get to where he was going. So I sort of walked him halfway so I knew where he was going. And as we walked past, we were walking down this darkened bike path and down by the highway kind of thing. And
which is the same place that you came upon a man fingering a lady.
Well, you're ruining the story.
You told this last time.
No, I didn't. I told you at the bar, you fool.
Oh.
Classic guy. Oh, just tune out. Just tune out. He's ruined the story. Now you know there was somebody finger banging somebody.
Oh, I didn't think Adam was there then.
Nah,
Adam wasn't there.
Were you drunk?
Yeah.
So what happened was we were walking past and we saw this couple sort of hiding behind a car on the bike path, and it was really an uncomfortable position. It was not a great place to be. They were just like, it was just it was really quite public, and they were just like, sort of snuggling and talking. And
that bike path is reasonably well lit.
Yeah.
It's got lights all along it.
They were in the shadows of a car.
Right.
So I think they felt safe in the darkness. And so we were walking past, and we saw them there, and as we walked past, I knew I was going to be walking back past in a few minutes, and even as I walked past, I thought, oh, they'll be getting up to no good soon. They'll be doing. I'll keep an eye on this one. And then so I walked at him to where I was walking him to. He went, and then I started coming back down, and I was walking back along the path, and I could see them, and they were, writhing in pleasure on the ground, and I was like, should I announce myself? I'm going to be walking directly past them. And I was like, no, of course not. And so I kept on walking, and I even kind of like...
Softened?
I softened my footsteps a little, and I also kind of moved myself so I was slightly more out of their line of sight, where there was this branch hanging down that kind of hid my approach.
This is really... sounds quite bad.
This is really pervy.
Yeah, this is really bad. You're essentially...
pervy bastard.
You sound like you're a peeping Tom.
Hey, look.
That lurked behind a bush, basically, and like didn't want to reveal yourself in case any of these shenanigans would stop.
Now, listen, I didn't want the shenanigans to stop. I admit it. Okay? And yes, I softened my footsteps, and I...
and slightly hid behind a branch.
I didn't... it's not so much I hid behind a branch, it's more like I camouflaged myself with a branch.
Amongst the trees.
I broke my outline. If you ask a soldier about camouflage, the best thing to do is you've got to break up the shape of your outline. That's why they put trees and shit in their helmets, leaves and shit in their helmets. That's why you got to break up the shape, because a human eye naturally sees sees other human shapes.
So you use your diligent training from reading copious amounts of World War II history books,
military autobiographies,
perv at a couple on the street.
Now, listen, I don't even feel bad, okay? I don't feel bad, and here's why. I wasn't the one that was finger banging a chick on the fucking footpath, okay? Yeah. I was just an innocent bystander.
So were they?
I'm the victim here.
Were they actually on the footpath?
So they were on the footpath. Like, I literally had to, so I was walking along. I was sneaking along.
It's not a finger path. It's a footpath.
Exactly. And so I was sneaking along, and I sort of emerged, suddenly from the shadows.
Abruptly.
Myself and my erection suddenly emerged from the shadows.
With a grin.
I did have a grin.
Like a Cheshire cat.
I did have a grin. And the only thing they would have seen is my lovely white teeth emerging from the shadows. And so
you're just like, here's Harley.
And now what was happening was he was fingering her quite vigorously, and she was like, moaning and loving it.
Yeah.
And I was like, boom, there I was. And then they kind of stopped, but I was like, there was just no point, because I'm not kidding. I was literally...
You were right on top of them. You were on top of them.
I was 2 feet away. I could smell the pussy, It was wafting. It was wafting through the air. And so I was...
The pungent aroma.
So I was walking past. I quickly teabagged her as I stepped over. No, that's not true. I didn't do that. I didn't half little dead her.
Yeah, you didn't.
I didn't put my penis on her head.
Didn't give her a little dead situation.
Little dead, a little half dead.
Half dead. Sorry.
And the guy was like, "Oh, just come on over, bro. Just come on over, bro." Now, I didn't really know what he meant by that. Did he actually mean, come on over, like, let's have a threesome? Or was he just kind of shocked and he was surprised that I was suddenly, like, I'd already come on over? You know what I mean? Like, I was already there. That was how I took it. I did not unzip. And I just kind of kept on walking, and I was like, oh, don't stop on my behalf, guys. And just kind of kept on walking and left them to it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And they didn't reply to that offhanded remark?
Not really. I think they kind of just... I think he might have sort of had a chuckle or a grunt of agreeance. I'm not really sure. And I just kept on going on my way. But yeah, so Auckland City, the land of finger banging
capital
on the street.
That's a pretty crazy story, because public sex, that's cool, right? But I always feel that there has to be some element of privacy. Like, for example, if you're at a wedding, it's behind a big old tree. And there's things going on, and you can hear things, and maybe someone will come around when they're having a smoke or something, but you're still behind a tree, so it's fine. Same with, you're just tucked in the bushes. Yeah, you're by a footpath, but you're tucked in the bushes. You're not actually on the actual footpath that has a lot of thoroughfare. People walk along at night all the time and just start going hell for leather.
The same rules apply for public wanking, guys. All right?
You got to be behind a tree.
You got to be behind a tree.
So it's okay. You can hear the general sort of the wedding going on, but you got to be wanking behind the tree.
Do not invite Guy to a wedding.
Do not.
If he cannot bang one of your guests behind a tree, he will be wanking behind a tree.
So yeah, I feel like it's bold, it's brash, and dare I say, a little inappropriate.
I agree,
and that's from an open-minded individual. Because you are making people, well, some people, not you, but some people feel uncomfortable. You're putting them in an awkward situation.
Not me. Hello. Imagine if I just like snuck up and went, hello.
But also, could be a risk of repercussions as well.
Well, he jumps up and bashes me.
Yeah, basically.
He's like, you fucking pervert.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you? I'm trying to finger bang this girl on the footpath.
What's wrong with you? Why are you being so dirty?
So yeah, on a unrelated but in the same area story was that I went to the skate park not very long ago with my sister, which is actually just down along that same bike path, and we were all alone. It was just my sister, Angie, and I at the skate park. It was empty other than that, and then this kid showed up, like he was like a 10-year-old boy with a scooter, and he was all by himself, and he sort of came onto the skate park like directly next to me, like a meter away from me kind of thing. So I looked at him and I was like, hello, because he was like, I didn't want it to be weird, right? You don't, he's right there, you got to say something. So I was like, hello, and he just looked at me like I was the worst piece of shit ever. It was basically, he was like, stop talking to me, you pedophile. Like he just,
that was his look that he gave you. That was the look
that he gave me. It was just honestly the worst. And then he didn't say hello, he didn't say anything, and then he just scooted away on his fucking gay ass scooter fag. Fucking little shit. You remind me of the schoolyard.
Brought straight back to high school and
straight back to high school.
The cruelties of high school and one single look.
Yeah, exactly.
One single exchange.
Yeah,
it's funny too because you kind of want to call out with them. You're like, I was young too.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I
was a cool skater guy like you.
I was rocking the complete dad fash as well. So I had like sneakers, like running shoes on.
Yeah.
And I had my hairy shoulders out. I was wearing a singlet with my hairy shoulders out. My running shoes on, and we had a skateboard, but it wasn't a real skateboard. It was like a little warehouse skateboard, and it looked like I was there with my daughter and my wife as well. So I was total complete dad.
Yeah.
Very far from cool.
Yeah.
So frankly, I'm not surprised he didn't say hello to me.
That's pretty funny. Well, on the same sort of note, but slightly different, I had I forgot to mention this, but on New Year's Eve, I had an altercation and countdown. Because basically what happened is we went there to buy some alcohol, and Shiney was buying some alcohol, and I was buying some alcohol separately. Or maybe I wasn't. Maybe she was buying it all. But anyway, so she goes up to the counter, and they're like, can I see your ID? And she was like, sure, because she looks like she could be 18. You could believe that. But then they were like, this is like some middle-aged lady, probably 50s, right? And she was like, have you got ID? To me. And I was like, took off my hat to reveal my grey hair. I had a full-on grey beard. I hadn't shaved. So I looked about 40, right, in this situation. I actually looked 40. I looked older than my age of 33 by a considerable amount. You could believe that Shiney was my kid. Just about. If she was 20 and I was 40. Had it when I was 20. So anyway,
she could be, if she was 18 and you were 38,
yeah.
Or even she was 18, you were 36, that could still happen.
It's possible.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was like, well, no, I don't have it on me, but look at me, And she was like, I'm going to need to see some ID. And I was like, come on, I'm 33. Like, this is silly. This is silly. I know I don't look 18. You know I don't look 18. And she was like, I'm afraid that... and I was like, and also I'm not buying the alcohol here either. And she's like, no, I'm afraid we're going to have to see your ID. And I was like...
So the implication here is that Shiney is buying some alcohol for this underage kid.
Being me. This grey-haired 40-year-old man. And I was like, and that's when I kind of flipped my wig, because this is what some
literal wig.
Some things really upset me, and one of them is kind of nonsensical bureaucracy, nonsensical following of the rules when common sense, like in defiance of complete common sense. Let's just run the scenario of like not making me get my ID. Okay.
For our American listeners as well, you've only got to be 18 to buy alcohol in New Zealand, not 21. So they are suggesting that Guy is a 17-year-old. It's fucking preposterous.
And that's basically what I said. I was like, I'm 33. I'm twice the age that an underage person would be if they were buying alcohol. I was like, this is dumb. You're wasting everyone's time. I've got to go to the thing and I come back. And what? You're going to find out that I'm 33. Like, right now. And she was like, I'm sorry. But she kind of also was like, I'm sorry, it's the rules. And I go, no, it's not the rules. I know that if I look over a certain age, you don't have to ask me. So you're just asking me for no particular reason. I was like, this is moronic. And I was like, my voice was escalating. There's people looking around nervously. And I was like, for fuck's sake.
They were like, that Middle Eastern man is getting is getting upset.
That crazy 40-year-old Middle Eastern man is getting worked up over something, guys. I'm a little bit concerned here. So anyway, I came back with my idea and like held it up aloft. Around like a big circle, like it was a big thing, like, but it was just stupid.
Now, what makes this funny though is that Shani was horrified and embarrassed.
Oh, for sure, she was not feeling my little tantrum, my childish like I reacted like a 17-year-old to the whole incident, which maybe she felt more emboldened then to continue to ask for it because of how I was flipping my lid over the whole thing. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, fucking countdown, sort your shit out, man. Like, honestly, if someone, like, this is the thing. I know I didn't look 18. I know I didn't look 25. I know I looked older than all of those things, and that person was being fucking dumb.
Well, look, I've had the same thing. But firstly, that person probably is fucking dumb. Well, because the culmination of her career is that she's a 50-something-year-old checkout chick.
Well, that's the problem.
Right?
I think
she might literally be dumb.
It's a bit of a power thing too, perhaps.
Yeah.
It's like, you've got to make me go do something. And otherwise you can't get your thing. I am the gatekeeper.
I have had similar experiences where I've gone out with Angie to buy booze at Countdown.
Yeah.
I wanted to buy, like, for example, there was one time we were just buying a whole bunch of groceries and there was a bottle of wine amongst all our dinner stuff. And they were like, have you got ID? And I was like, yes, I do. And they were like, and what about you? Pointing to Angie. Yeah. Now Angie does look, younger. She doesn't. I mean, she doesn't look 17, but she's a lot younger. She looks younger than I do. But do you have your ID? No, she doesn't have her ID with her. Oh, okay. Well, this is fucking stupid because if you wait, if you stop for a second and think about it, you're essentially saying that if I say I was 35 or say I was 40 and I've got a 16-year-old daughter or a 17-year-old daughter, you're saying that I can't buy booze because she doesn't have ID and she's not even the one buying booze. She just happened to be with me in the queue while we were shopping.
You've just exposed a major flaw in the system,
It doesn't make any fucking sense, does it? It's fucking stupid. And I said as much. I was like, this is fucking stupid. What if she was my 17-year-old daughter? It doesn't make any sense. What if I've got a 5-year-old daughter? I'm 33. What if I've got an 8-year-old daughter and I go to the supermarket to buy my booze? I can't because my daughter doesn't have ID proving she's 18 when she's obviously not 18. What's the fucking logic here, guys?
And that's the thing. In defiance of logic, Countdown continue with this dumb shit. But I just thought it was funny because, of course, the other way around, when I'm buying alcohol when Shani's there, even though, again, they shouldn't be like, oh, you with him and blah, blah, blah. Like, go fuck off.
It makes sense, right? If you've got a bunch of 18-year-olds... Yeah. Or you've got one 18-year-old hanging out with 4 17-year-olds, and he's buying 5 lots of booze.
Yeah.
Okay, he can go, all right, guys, there's something up here. Yeah. You're probably buying it for all your mates who are 17. But like, come on, use some fucking common sense here.
So but that whole idea was that they reversed it, and I was the young 17-year-old, not her, who'd already proved that she was 30.
Okay, so
Countdown.
Countdown. We're done with you, Countdown. We'll be back next week to buy some shit. Now, we have some more bad news.
Oh, shit.
2017. Yeah. You might recall a couple of episodes back, we were very excited because the Mowers were coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the Mowers are the New Zealand version of the Oscars. It's the annual New Zealand Film Awards. It's a big event, a glitzy, glamorous event. A lot of the bigwigs, the who's who,
Whoever is a somebody is there.
Yep, exactly.
Anybody who's a somebody is there.
And the last 2 mowers, I got to go associated with nominations of films I was in. Last year was I Survived a Zombie Holocaust. The year before that was Ghost TV.
The classic, the classic, which is it available online?
I think it is actually on YouTube. I think if people look up Ghost TV feature film or Ghost TV movie, Ghost TV New Zealand, they should be able to find it. I'll try and find it and share it on the Facebook page.
If you want to tune into a Harley Neville classic.
Now this film, well, look, I'll let you make your own judgments on it. It was nominated for best independent, best self-funded feature film.
Yeah.
It didn't win, but I got to go to the awards, which was cool. You know, it was a big night, good fun. The next year, I went for I Survived a Zombie Holocaust. We were nominated in 2 categories: best visual effects and best makeup. We didn't win that year either. This year, I was really hoping that we would be going again with No Caller ID, which we had submitted for a variety of categories. And we had just won Best Short Film at a Night of Horror International Film Festival.
We were feeling all G'd up.
We had a lot of really positive reviews. In fact, we've had 0 negative reviews so far.
Yep.
We were one of the top 3 standout films at Screamfest Los Angeles on Hollywood Boulevard. We were feeling very confident in our product. We submitted to the mowers, and we were really hoping to get Best Self-Funded Short Film, a nomination for Best Self-Funded Short Film. We got the news. We have 0 nominations. None. We are officially not invited. We can go, but we got to buy a ticket. You got to buy a ticket, and it's like however much, like $100 or whatever.
And they got to seat you at
I don't even know,
table of like people who aren't invited.
Yeah. I mean, there must be public tickets just for fucking losery fucking Joe Schmoes to sit up the back somewhere, not associated with any film.
In the corner where you can't really see anything. Because normally serve your food last.
Normally what they do as well is they put you on a table with the rest of the people from your production.
Yeah.
So all the nominations are all kind of, together, and, you can lean across the table behind you, and chances are those people there have been working on a film. I don't know where they put you if you're just if you're just a dude from the public.
Probably put you in the bathroom.
Fucking with the other animals, the other non-filmmaking animals. And so anyway,
plebs.
The fucking plebs. And so yeah, we're not nominated for the 2017 New Zealand Film Awards, which really
gets your goat,
grinds my gears.
Well, what's upsetting to me is I think this is an important distinction to make.
I don't want to come across as a sore loser,
but we're gonna do that right now.
But here is an example of us ranting and being sore losers.
Because this is the thing, is we did not submit for best short film. All the $30,000 short films, the $100,000 short films, all the New Zealand Film Commission short films, they're all in that best short film category. We're not even worthy of even putting our hat in that one. We're just saying, for a self-funded film, we're one of the we think we should be a nominee this year as a self-funded film.
But the problem is it's a genre film.
Yeah.
I bet the other ones are not I bet there's not many straight horror nominees.
Nah.
There's probably not. It's like there'll be lots of Hemi and his Pahutakawa tree.
Yep.
There'll be a lot of that. There'll be quite a few of those nominations. But they're not going to be, I really doubt there's going to be any straight up horror and other sort of genre nominees. Another film that didn't get any nominations, which I kind of thought it might get something, was This Giant Paper Mache Boulder is Actually Really Heavy. They didn't get any nominations either, and I thought they were really good.
But did he submit?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No nominations for them. And so...
I will also just say that with regards to that Paper Mache Boulder is Really Heavy, that's won several best science fiction best science fiction film at these really prestigious film festivals overseas. So it's the same thing as
that must really rip your undies.
Oh, for him, I feel really bad for him.
Because we did it with a short film. We're gutted with a short film, and so to not have your feature film nominated after all the work you put in,
spent 5 years on that
and
too,
all the good response so far.
Yep.
It is a real shame. If people get the chance, they should look up this giant paper mache boulder is actually really heavy. It's very funny.
That sucks.
I'm going to be very, very upset if Older doesn't get a nomination in 2018. If Older doesn't get a nomination
oh boy,
for best self-funded feature.
I'm just imagining,
and if Ghost TV got a nomination,
like I'm just imagining like the deep rage, resentment, and hurt. Like, just picturing it in my head of that snubbing now.
Yeah.
Like, I will be dark for, like, months.
Yeah.
I'll be walking around, like, just kicking cans on the street.
Just
with
kicking
my hands,
homeless people.
With my hands
just
in my pockets.
Just kicking homeless people with his hand in his pockets.
Just, like, and just screaming, why, at, like, the top of my lungs from time to time, if that happens. But, yeah, is it a conspiracy? We don't know.
It's not a conspiracy. For them to conspire against us, they have to have heard of us. Now, speaking of
heard of us.
Speaking of homeless people, I have a history of getting rejected by homeless people.
Yeah.
Twice I offered, on two separate occasions, I offered food to a homeless person. I thought it was two separate homeless people because they all wear the same outfit, but it was actually the same guy twice. But either way, he said no both times quite abruptly.
It's so funny that you didn't clock that, like, this homeless man that you'd had this quite big interaction with.
Well, no.
Was not the same guy.
No, because you got to remember that in the case of the first time, I never saw his face. He was hidden underneath his umbrella house. Right. So I was talking to his feet. This
guy that lives under the umbrella down the road, I actually wrote originally into Older.
Yeah.
There was a line originally, I'm pretty sure I cut it or something, where I'm like, yeah, you know, like that guy, his house is an umbrella. Did you really think that when he was a kid, that's what he was expecting? That is, and when he was an adult, his house would be an umbrella? But I cut that, obviously. But that's what I'm saying is he's a real staple of the homeless crowd, that umbrella guy.
He rejected me twice when I offered him food on two separate occasions. Now, today I was walking to Countdown, and there was another homeless guy, and I was with my 10-year-old sister, and she is not from the North Island, so she's not used to seeing destitute people lying on the ground, you know, because the South Island is beautiful and doesn't really have much of that shit down there, particularly not Central Otago, which is where she's from.
Yeah.
And so, you know, whenever she sees homeless people, she feels terrible, and it really upsets her. I can see it. You know, she doesn't like it, and so she was like, can we give, you know, this guy some money? And I was like, well, give him some money.
Well, if you start giving him money now, how much are you going to want tomorrow?
That's not what I said, but yeah, so she gave him her $4, and then I had $2 extra, and we went into the supermarket, we bought our groceries, and she was like, can we buy some shit? And I was like, well, look, here's that other $2 which you can give him on the way out. And she was like, well, we'll buy him some stuff, we'll buy him some food. And I was like, okay, good, cool, yep. And I was like, what can you get for $2? And I was like, all right, well, we'll buy him a bread stick, like a French stick thing. And I'm buying some fruit anyway, so we'll give him some of our fruit, and we'll also give him a banana stolen from the bin that is for like free fruit for kids. Countdown have this thing where they've got a wee bin in the produce area where it's free fruit for kids that are shopping. So you just grab a banana out there, and she was like, cool, I'm not going to eat it. I'm just going to keep the banana and give it to him. We're like, sweet, cool, we've got a plan. So like a breadstick and 2 pieces of fruit, right? That was the $2 spent, you know? And then, so we did our groceries, we left, and then we were walking towards the homeless guy, and I kid you not, 20 meters ahead of us, this lady who was walking with all her groceries, she had like, you know, 2 or 3 bags of groceries, she stopped, and she put down all of the groceries in front of him, and gave them to him. Gave all of them to us, to her. And then so Sophie and I were standing there with our crappy breadstick and our stolen banana, and you know this Good Samaritan bitch had stolen all of our thunder.
Yep, totally killed your buzz.
Totally killed our buzz. And then we sort of had to approach him, and it was like, okay, he's literally surrounded by shopping bags, and here we are now. We're kind of offering him
a dry breadstick,
and a fucking stolen banana. And you know, but we gave it to him anyway. And in return, he actually gave us a 2.25 of Coca-Cola, which definitely cost more than $2. Because he was like, I can't really drink sugar. I can't have too much sugar
because of his teeth.
I guess so,
that
yeah.
are
Rotting out of his head,
and
maybe.
incredibly painful when he has sugar, yeah.
Yeah, so he gave us a bottle of Coke. So, I mean,
So
what
really,
I'm saying is that in the ups and downs of it all, we came out on
I was
top.
going to say, so what you're saying is like the
He would have been
homeless
better off to
man...
not meet us.
The homeless man was charitable to you that
Yeah.
day.
No, because we gave him the $4 at the beginning, and he couldn't drink the Coke anyway, which we didn't give him. So, but yes, anyway, so I've got really bad luck with donating to homeless people so far.
Well, the moral of the story is just give up.
Just stop being
Just
nice to people.
never have a nice thought or want to do anything kind for someone.
Yeah.
And you'll be a lot better off.
Yeah.
Well, that's where we've got to leave it today.
Okay, so on that note, we will end the show. I did also just want to quickly say as well, there's this initiative coming up. It started yesterday or tomorrow. It starts on Monday, actually. The New Blood Initiative.
Oh, yeah.
It's a web series fund where they're giving $100,000 to people to shoot a pilot web series episode.
No, they're not.
No. What do we mean?
They're giving us we have to shoot the pilot.
Sorry. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah.
You submit a pilot which you shoot with your own money.
Yep.
And your own sweat.
Yep.
And your own blood and tears.
Yep.
And
Your new blood.
You submit it alongside, 100 other aspiring filmmakers.
Yep.
And if they choose you, you get $100,000 to shoot the rest of your season.
They drain the new blood from your veins. They suck it out vampirishly.
Vampirically? I don't know. It sounds better
Vampirically
to me.
speaking, yep. And take it all themselves, and they take all their views and all the popularity and all your blood, and then maybe they will let you continue.
And
to
if
make
you're
it.
lucky, you'll get some good experience from it, and it'll be a nice stepping stone. And so anyway, it's due by March 31st. So that's about 2.5 months. So I don't know. What do you think, Guy? I mean, I think it'd be pretty awesome if we shot a pilot episode of our new sitcom/web series called Happy-ish.
The only problem with it, it's not a big problem really, but it's kind of a problem from mentally writing it, is that it can only be 15 minutes.
Is there? I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
right.
you look in the sort of details,
Right.
it's going to be 15 minutes, which is not a bad thing for a web series or anything. It's just not exactly what I had in mind and envisaged the show
We had
being.
imagined just a straight up sitcom, a
Yeah.
23-minute,
Yeah.
6-episode sitcom.
It's really hard to fit like character develop. That's my only concern with 15 minutes. Is not a lot of character. It's very hard to really get across both because
The first episode of the Guy and Harley sitcom was 17 minutes long.
Yeah.
But I really feel like it's not until the second episode that you start to love the characters and know the characters. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if people want to watch that, youtube.com/Pigville, youtube.com/Pigville and the number 2, and you can go check it out. Just search the Guy and Harley sitcom Pigville.
But but we may have a crack at that. We may have a crack at that one.
Well, the good thing about it is, if you don't get the $100,000, you've still got your pilot.
I'm more concerned about writing a good 15 pages.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, like a good succinct 15 pages that both pulls you in, is funny, develops character, and sets up the next episode, but is kind of, I guess, not a complete, like, we've left everything like so open-ended that it's frustrating.
All right, cool. Well, speaking of succinct, it's time we ended this podcast.
We'll see you next week. Thank you to all the older people that supported in some way, helping our dreams come true.
Facebook.com/oldermovie.
We'll see you later.
You've been listening to the Guy and Harley podcast, proudly brought to you by Pigville Productions.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.